And I think we are now live, but I will just double check to make sure. Can you guys hear me A-OK in the chat? And I think we're all good. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gavra Racing GT7 League Season 8, round number 4 here for the American Grand Prix at Trial Mountain. Not the usual Trial Mountain that you're used to. We're going to this circuit backwards. The same 15 corners, the same 3.98 kilometers, except in the opposite direction. That is the old turn 1. This, my friends, is the new turn 1 down at the end of the straight. It's a 90-degree left-hander followed by a 90-degree right. Should make for a brilliant overtaking opportunity. But without further ado, let's waste no time at all and get into today's starting grid. It's Bon Evil on pole position in the Williams Golf livery, getting rather familiar with this particular grid slot, puts himself on pole position. Going into this race, leading the Drivers' Championship by 3 points over the driver in second place. It's the pink Piero, not on pole, but in second place. Just behind him, Cameron Kaboom in third, on the second row of the grid, running in third place in the championship, and in fourth place on the grid, not fourth place in the championship, is myself, X-Natagy, your commentator and driver for this evening's race. And last but not least, Black Country Mush in fifth place. Those are the 5 drivers that start the American Grand Prix, but don't worry, we do get more joining us later on in the season for some action-packed racing. I'll give it a couple of seconds for drivers, or viewers, I should say, to tune into the live stream. Those couple of seconds are now over, and we can get into the start of the American Grand Prix. 31 laps lie ahead of us here at the 4-kilometre circuit. It's Trial Mountain backwards. 5 drivers, 5 red lights. It's lights out, and away we go for the American Grand Prix. Bon Evil leading the championship and to the field away in the run down towards turn 1. A great start from Marcus Armstrong. He's jumped Piero. I didn't mean to say Marcus Armstrong, I meant to say me. Piero down the inside of Bon Evil. Natty going round the outside of Cameron Kaboom comes the inside for turn 2. They're still going to go side by side. I believe there's a little bit of a nudge from Cameron hitting the back of Bon Evil, but no damage done to either car. Natty now pulling up alongside the Golf Williams. Can't quite find a way through on the inside. Up the hill now in towards the new turn 4, 5 and 6, the S's section. Now a downhill section throughout the middle parts of the track in this beautiful woodland area. One of the most beautiful tracks in the game, I believe. Natty now looking for a move down the inside of Bon Evil, easy as you like, and gets himself up into second place, and he's going to be challenging Piero for the lead. The man who started in 4th place, challenging for the lead of the race here halfway through the first lap, using a little bit of overtake to get the move done. Piero on the overtake button as well to try and defend the position, but the Brit sending one down the inside and gets the move done up into the lead of the race. Bon Evil and Piero going slightly wheel in the background of the shot. Piero though still keeping his front wing on the inside, but Natty using the fresh soft compound tyres gets the move done up into the lead of the race, starting in 4th place on the grid. However, as we look behind, Piero, Bonnie, Cameron Kaboom and Black Country Mush are all on the white striped hard compound tyre. Why, you might ask? Because all 3 dry tyre compounds are mandatory for this race. The drivers have to use the soft, the medium and the hards at some phase of the race, and Bonnie is already abandoning the hard compound tyre. He's already used that set, now he can focus on using the soft and the medium to see out the final 30 laps of the American Grand Prix. At the end of lap 1 though, it is Natty who leads the field away, setting the fastest lap as usual, proceeding to the leading driver who leads the first lap, ultimately sets the fastest lap of the race, but that will definitely change throughout the course of the race. We've got high fuel in these cars, which will gradually decrease throughout the course of the 31 racing laps of action. Bon Evil exiting the pit lane in 5th place on the yellow striped medium tyre, the middle set available for this Grand Prix weekend, and he'll see how much progress he can make on the back of Black Country Mush and Cameron Kaboom. The interesting thing about the strategy tonight is that all 3 tyres have to be used, and it's just when you use them and how long you use them for. Bon Evil already ditching the hard compound tyres. Yes, they can probably do 20 or 25 laps, but you don't want to do only 5 laps in this race in the medium and the soft. You want to do the most laps you can on the quickest compounded tyre. So expect X90G to pull away from the chasing pack on those fresh soft compound tyres whilst everyone's on the hard. And then the race will come back to the others towards the end. He tried something similar at Dragon Trail Seaside. It didn't quite work for him. Started 4th, finished 4th, so he didn't technically lose anything. Started 4th here today. Can he find his way onto the podium position? 1:31.4 is the first lap time done. Well, the first competitive lap time, I should say, on the soft compound tyres. Let's ride on board with Cameron Kaboom. He has Piero in his sights, up in front of him, going through the first sector, up the hill, in towards the new turn 3, would be turn 12, turn 13, sorry, not turn 12. We are going in the backwards configuration for this race, something a little bit different. I feel like Trial Mountain backwards is really nice in high downforce cars such as the Super Formula. They work slightly better going forward than GT3 and GT4s. The beautiful sun rising above the trees before the drivers make their way through the tunnel. Hello and welcome to everyone tuning in to the stream, or if you're watching this back on YouTube. Hello everyone, I hope you're having a nice day or night, depending on what time you're watching this. But a lot of these corners are really fun and satisfying to drive in a high-powered, high-downforce car like the Super Formula. A lot of them are flat out. Actually, Cameron's been hit the wall somewhere. He's got front right suspension damage. That will cost him for the next 30 seconds whilst it gets repaired. You can see the gap that Piero started to pull on Cameron just through that middle sector alone whilst the Brit had the damage, and he takes this opportunity to pull into the pit and abandon those hard compound tyres. Will Black Country rush pit? No. Black Country stays out for another lap, as does Piero. So now Black Country is promoted up into 3rd place. Where will Bon Evil feature? Was running in 3rd place when he came into the pit. Interesting about this pit lane is you can see Cameron Kaboom. He's just being served now. The driver's going through the first couple of corners, but the pit lane exit happens in between turn 2 and 3. So keep an eye on the arrow on the mini-map in the top right-hand corner of the screen. There you go, he's now at pit lane exit, and it's a comfortable advantage for Bon Evil. However, Cameron Kaboom's got 2 3-lap fresher medium tyres, which will come back to him at the end of the stint. Now all about doing a quick, clean and consistent lap times for both drivers. Someone who hasn't quite done that is the race leader with damage to the front left suspension and also the aero. So it would affect the turning and straight line speed, but that should be fixed in the next 10 seconds. There you go, that's fixing the curve now. Even better for the race leader. X90G started in 4th place up into the lead of the race on those soft compound tyres, and will be needing to pull out the advantage as best he can whilst he's on the faster and grippier tyres compared to those on the mediums and the hards. Only 2 drivers on the hard. We're about to have only 1 driver on the hard compound tyres as our pink Piero pulls into the pit lane. Welcome Black Country in the chat. Sorry. Good. Welcome Black Country in the chat. No, sorry. Oh God. Well, it's because his name's Mush. Bonnie without 3rd place. Black Country Mush promoted up into 2nd, having stayed out on hard compound tyres. This could be close between Piero and Cameron Kaboom actually in the battle for 4th place. Piero coming out the pit lane. Cameron on the outside, swoops around the outside. Oh, Piero, can he make the move stick on the warmer medium compound tyres? Piero coming out the pits on the cold tyres. It looks like the Frenchman just kept the position, but look at the time they've lost to Bon Evil, who pitted after the 1st lap, but will suffer from tyre degradation towards the end of the stint, and could also impact him in his soft stint if he doesn't save the medium tyres. It's an interesting race now for Bon Evil. Does he conserve the medium tyres and have a strong soft stint? Does he push this medium stint, but then struggle towards the end of his soft stint? We'll have to wait and see how it unfolds. That's one for the bleachers, I guess. I can't remember the saying it came such a long time ago. This race wasn't prepared for the reversal out. Yeah, it has been a while, but I do have time to do all these streams now. I expect one every 3 to 4 days. So the season finale, which hasn't actually happened at the time of recording, should be finished by the end of October. That's the plan. I will be able to get these streams out as quickly as possible. We'll leave a little bit of a break in between, just in case you missed it and you want to watch it back or something. However, back to the on-track action. On board with Bonnie, but as he closes down Black Country Mush, he stayed out on those hard compound tyres for the opening 6 laps. Bonnie on 5 lap fresh medium tyres, dives it down the inside, and it's an easy move for Bonnie, but pretty easy because he'll make all race undefendable from Black Country Mush, who's on those hard compound tyres, drifting his way through turn 5, just about keeps it out of the barrier, opens the door for Piero to walk down the inside. Looks like he's going to make it that much easier for Cameron Cabrera, but I don't think he's going to have an easy time defending this. On board, driver's eye, you can see there goes Black Country Mush, now in the rearview mirrors. Cameron might actually use this opportunity to go for a move on Piero in front. He's getting the slipstream. Piero doesn't defend the inside line. Here goes Cameron Cabrera, dives it down the inside with a high-speed right-hander. They nearly make contact on the exit of the bridge, down towards the left-hander of turn 9 and 10. As we enter the middle sector and enter sector 3, Piero in 3rd place stays ahead of Cameron Cabrera. Great racing from these two, but they've already used up a chunk of their overtake bust and battling and defending from one another. And maybe it's time for Black Country Mush to pull into the pit, get off these hard compound tyres, although he will have superior mediums and softs towards the end of the race. Meanwhile, in the battle for the final podium position, Piero in 3rd, ahead of Cameron Cabrera in 4th. Not close enough to go for a move in towards turn 1, although Piero's gone a little bit deep into the first corner. Could allow Cameron Cabrera to set up a switchback, which is executed beautifully alongside the pink Piero. Now down in towards turn 2. At turn 3, Piero's going to try and swoop it round the outside. Can he hold it? Yes, he does. Beautifully driven by Piero. Great respect as well between the two drivers. Piero maintains 3rd place. We've got a battle on our hands here, ladies and gentlemen, for the final spots on the podium as it stands, with X-Strategy leading this race. As wide from Piero hit the wall on the left-hand side, and he's going to give Cameron Cabrera the opportunity he needs to go through, but instead decides to bum draft the back of the Super Formula, not wanting to go for a move on this lap, quite fighting so hard for it on the previous lap. Maybe the strategy there was to try and get past on the last lap, and if he failed, accept it for now and then work with Piero to try and close down the gap to Bonival, who is on Warner tyres, setting quicker lap times, although Piero and Cameron Cabrera have been battling on the last lap, so we'll have to wait and see how it settles down between those two. 1:31.3 for the race leader, 1:31.6. So the mediums are starting to come into this race, with Bonival only 3 tenths slower than the leader on those Warner soft compound tyres that have done the first 8 laps of this race. You can see the difference on track between the pit stop and staying out. Bonival going through turn 3, Natty down the back straight, halfway down the back straight nearly. I'm not sure how long that back straight is actually, but it's a fairly decent length, going forward as well, backwards to go for a move. Trail Mountain is probably one of my favourite fiction circuits in this game. It's beautiful, beautiful scenery, and has really nice flowing parts of the circuit, corners that just link one another, and great overtaking opportunities, especially in the backwards configuration in these cars. Turn 1 becomes more of an overtaking opportunity. It's a heavy braking zone, it's towards a low 90 degrees left-hander, as opposed to a fast, 60 degree left-hander going the normal way, and you've still got the back straight to go for moves. Cameron Cabrera nearly ran too wide onto the grass, which wouldn't have done his race any favours in his pursuit of Piero. the Frenchman, just putting out a little bit of a gap now to Cameron Kaboom behind, and I think Bon Evil might be getting closer. Piero was a tenth faster on the last lap. Natty a tenth slower than Bon Evil. So it looks like the mediums are coming back into this race. Blackwood's going to think he prefers the forward layout. I do agree with you from the perspective of driving GT3 cars. I do think the forward layout has a better flow, but I think for Super Formula, I thought it'd be a really nice chance to use these cars going backwards. I don't think it's a bad track backwards, actually. It's not bad, but I would say if I had to pick one over the other, forwards, I think, would be my preference. Meanwhile, speaking of preferences, I do prefer to see myself leading this race, although we do have some battles further down the grid, so we will keep an eye on the gap between Piero and Cameron Kaboom. Let's roughly work out 5 seconds, I think, is the gap between second and third place. 2 seconds between Piero and Cameron Kaboom, who nearly hit the wall on the outside of the little bridge tunnel section pit. I thought of tunnel and then said no, that's wrong, so I said bridge. It is kind of a bridge, but I'd say more of a tunnel. I don't think that's very safe. I said this in the last time we went to this track, when we were in the Group 3 cars for Season 6. Those fans that are sat on the top of the tunnel, I don't think the FIA would approve. Lots of health and safety involved in that. Seeing as there's no battles in the midfield, we'll go to the race leader and have a look at it single-handedly. We'll ride on board as well, just so we can get a clear view of the fans. I don't think they're on this bridge. Just keep an eye on the middle of the screen. Oh yeah, there they are. Sat on the edge of the bridge. That's not very safe, I don't think. And what if someone got pushed and then squashed at 150 miles per hour? That's not ideal, is it? Are they still on this bridge? Yeah, look at them all up there. We can't quite look behind. There we go, they're still up there. Unbelievable. The health and safety. That's a lot of paperwork if someone falls. Anyway, lap 10 of 31, about a third of the way through this race, and Natty's front left tyre has seen better days, and I think his pit group will be bringing out a set of tyres, and we'll be expecting the Brits to pull into the pits at the end of this lap. Indeed, he does. Pulls over to the right-hand side of the track, in between the dotted white lines, to avoid getting a 3-second time penalty. Let's just keep an eye on what tyres he goes onto and where he filters out. Because Bon Evil has been setting similar, if not quicker, lap times on the mediums. Now, if the strategy works, or is set to work, then Natty needs to be in front. Bon Evil going down the start-finish straight. This could be fairly close. The fuel's going into the side of that Super Formula as it waits patiently. Now it's left the pit lane. Where's Bon Evil going down the running towards turn 3? There you have it. Natty maintains the lead of this race on lap 11 of 31 on fresh medium compound tyres. Now, in order for this to work for him, like it didn't in Dragon Trail Seaside, he needs to be going quicker than Bon Evil. That's 5 to 8 tenths a lap quicker than Bon Evil, using a lot fresher tyres. 9-10 lap old tyres on Bon Evil's car compared to the fresh mediums on Natty. He needs to pull away now. No mistakes, as he has a little bit of a slide under the tunnel in the middle sector. This is very much like the Qatar Grand Prix in real life. There's a big strategic game being played, 2 different strategies. One of the strategies has been developed differently by the drivers, pitting at different times. Some sacrificing the quicker tyres, some sacrificing doing more laps on the slower hard compound tyre, which will ultimately result in doing more laps on fresher and quicker soft and medium tyres. Let me know, guys, in the comments, in the chat, if the stream is okay. I've been having internet issues for the last couple of weeks, and I hope the quality is sufficient enough. I hope you're not counting the pixels on the screen. Black Country Mish though has pulled into the pit lane to get off those hard compound tyres, and we'll do the next 20 laps on mediums and soft to see him through the end. Thanks for the confirmation of the So at this phase of the race, we should be analysing the gap between Bonnie and Natty. It's slightly different without the time intervals and the deltas, but we do have information of damage to the front left suspension in the area of that Super Formula on board with Bonnie, who hit the outside wall through the tunnel down at turn 8. A very easy mistake to make, and one that, well, isn't the first and won't be the last to do that. It will hinder his pursuit of the race leader, the current championship leader, hunting down ex-Natty G with his rivals behind him in this race. First, second and third in the championship are second, third and fourth respectively. But Piero's been successful in his hunt of Born Evil. He now has the Gulf Williams in his sight. Look at the lap times, 32.4, 31.7, high 37s for Piero. Gained 2 seconds on the last lap after Born Evil hit the wall on the outside of turn 8. Riding on board with Piero, rocking what looks like an American helmet for the American Grand Prix. That's actually just a really nice camera shot to show you guys how fast these drivers are going, how committed they are through this middle sector, and how tricky that right-hander is to be able to off the back straight. This track being a clockwise circuit and has a number of long sweeping right-handers does punish the front left and the rear left specifically. You can see that on the effect of Born Evil's tyre, where the front left suffering. Look at the difference, a couple of laps made in the tyre, where Piero who pitted on lap 5 or 4, Born Evil who pitted on lap 1. So let's go for a race rundown here on lap 14. We're near the halfway stage of the race. ex-Natty G leads the American Grand Prix on a fresh set of medium compound tyres, but is not successful in pulling out the gap he needs to Born Evil, who's currently in second place, the championship leader, ahead of his nearest rival in the championship, Piero, running in third place, 3 points behind the driver in front of him in the championship, Gavra in fourth place, third in the championship, and he's trying his best to close down the gap to Piero, or maybe save the medium tyre so he can take them to the distance where he can then pit, take soft to the end of the race. And then we've got Black Country Mish in fifth place, who I think made a mistake on lap, made his first pit stop on lap 11, hence 2 minutes 6 lap time. So I thought there was a slight mistake. Might have actually made a mistake on lap number 6, 1:39.0. I didn't see that. But there we go, lap 15. So the next lap will be the halfway stage of the race. Born Evil with more damage to the front of his car, and that's what has brought Piero close up to the back of the current championship leader. I had to think of the correct words there. I wanted to say driver's champion, but Play Dutchy is the current reigning world champion. right on board with Pierre. Let's go on the top of the car. One of my favourite camera angles in this game. Actually, let's go for a rear wing shot of Bollywood down the back straight. You can see Pierre gaining all the time in the slipstream, maybe using a bit of overtake in the process, running over these yellow painted lines on the inside of turn 8. You are allowed to cut them. That is not track limits. The track limits at American circuits are defined by the white line on the outside of the circuit. And then tracks like Watkins Glen have orange lines on the outside of the circuit. You can go over them, not further than the curb though, but as soon as the line turns white is when you have to obey track limits. Down the start-finish straight, you can see there Natty's pulling away, but not by much. He needs to get that gap up because they're going to be pushing for soft compound tyres soon. As he's going to be on worn mediums, and then ultimately the hard compound tyres towards the end of the race. Got a nice three-way fight on our hands for second place. Bon Evil and Piero. Cameron Caboon is actually gaining on these cars in front as well. I've noticed the gap has reduced over the last couple of laps. That's 3-4 tenths quicker than the cars in front in the last lap alone. And he's brought himself back into this race. 16-31, halfway through the American Grand Prix. Bollywood's still got a lot of overtake at his disposal to use, but Piero's used about just under 75%. Cameron just over 3/4 of his deployment left to use. And the Black Country Machine's still got plenty of deployment left, and Natty's used the most rough start in this race. He could be vulnerable when he opts to pit for those hard compound tyres. Meanwhile, Bonnie was going to start to feel the effect of those worn mediums with Piero close behind, unable to make an impact. Maybe perhaps the dirty air is having such an impact on him through the first and final sector that he can't get his car close enough to the overtaking points, which are turn 1 and turn 8. Effect of the slipstream though will be bringing him closer down towards the first corner, but then this is where Pierre will be hit with dirty air, not at this part of the track as I speak, but once we get to the twisty bits, this first sector specifically, they're even sliding all over the place in the exit of turn 3. Interestingly, slightly different lines being taken by Piero and Bonnie, but maybe that's just the effect of tyre wear, or maybe it's Bonnie Piero trying to get out of the dirty air. You can see Piero takes a little bit of a tighter line down in towards turn 7. Bonnie will have to take a wider line, carry a bit more speed through the corner. You can see Piero's gaining, using a bit of his overtake to bring himself closer to the championship leader. It's only a matter of time you feel like before he can find a way through, but this is where Bonnie was in a tricky situation. He's only just made the mediums last 16 laps. Can he take the soft 15 laps to the end of the race from here? This is going to be a tough ask from Bollywood. He might have to make an additional pit stop, which he won't want to do, or it's to take the consequences and drive with a puncture. He stays out for another lap. You can see Natty's not pulling away. They're setting nearly identical lap times. Look at the tyre difference. Natty was basically fresh mediums and Bollywood close to puncturing, yet Natty's unable to pull out a gap to Bollywood and Piero. So perhaps Natty's struggling to find a rhythm, the groove on the medium compound tyres, as he did so well on the softs. And I think it's unfortunate that only 5 drivers could attend this race. I feel like this race would be so interesting if we had 15 drivers. Let's say 4 or 5 of them starting on the mediums, 4 or 5 of them starting on the softs, and 4 or 5 of them starting on hards. So then you get individual bits of pack racing. That's what this was supposed to be when I initially made the settings, to get pack racing. So you have the leaders, the front 4, let's say, on softs, 5th to 8th on mediums, and then 9th to 13th on hards during the first stint, and then the hard runners pit, the medium runners pit, the soft runners pit. So let's say medium, soft and hard. And then by the end of the race, you have the pack of drivers on hards at the front, a pack of drivers and mediums in the middle, and a pack of drivers on the softs at the back. That's just how the strategy works. If you think about it, Bonnie all started on the hards, goes to mediums and softs, using the 2 slowest tyres. He's not going to be setting quick lap times. He'll be at the back when he's on the softs. But for Natty, who's gone soft medium, the 2 quickest tyres, setting the quickest lap times when he's at pits of the hards. On paper, he'll be at the front. That was the goal for these settings for this race. So yeah, it's a shame we could only get 5. 15 would have definitely made it. Very interesting and unpredictable. That's the word that pretty much sums up this strategic idea. The unpredictability of different strategies. Bonnie pitting on the end of the first lap, followed by Pierre on lap 4, and Cameron on lap 5. Natty starting on the softs and going to the mediums. And then what happens is you get everyone meets at the end for the final 3 laps, basically. And that's when you witness carnage and drama unfold. Bonnie, though, has pitted off of the medium compound tyres and onto the red stripe soft, meaning he has completed the mandatory tyres by using the soft, medium and hard throughout the course of this race, so doesn't have to make another pit stop unless needed. Oh, unless he wants to go for a fast lap or something, which is being currently possessed by X-Strategy. Possessed is not the correct word. Held, obtained by the race leader, a better word. But I would fully expect someone like Bonnie, Piero or Cameron Kaboom to set the fastest lap when they are on their fresh softs and lower fuel. Remember that 1 minute 30.9 was done with a full tank of fuel. And will be beaten throughout the course of this race. Cameron Kaboom sliding through the left-right S's section in the western side of the circuit, entering the middle sector. Suffering from the effects of tyre wear, it seems. His left tyres are pretty close to falling off the cliff if they haven't done so already. As he tries to stick with Pierre as close as he can, actually hits the wall on the inside. Really hits the wall on the outside as well, so you might see Cameron Kaboom into the pits at the end of this lap. It looks like Pierre is good enough to stay out for another lap or 2. The race leader, I expect, will continue on as well, whilst he still has his life in those medium compound tyres. There you have it, Cameron Kaboom into the pits. Interestingly, fueled up for this medium stint. Very smart, very wise. Clearly had a plan going into this race to start on the hards and then keep enough fuel for this medium stint and then pit the soft at the end. It's going to be interesting to see where he filters out in respect of the body. Well, Cameron's going to put in fuel. Let's have a look at the map. Where's he going to be? Body has gone past the pit lane exit. He's comfortably in 3rd place. Cameron's just leaving the pit lane exit now. Obliged to do 50 miles per hour as he can now put his foot flat to the floor and go away on his usual proceedings. So his attempt to undercut Piero now in play. Will the Frenchman react at the end of this lap? Box for a fresh set of soft compound tyres. Will he do an extra lap on the medium and ensure grip? That's the latter stages of this 31 lap race. Piero making his way through the high speed S's in the final couple of corners does come into the pit. I really want to ride on board with someone just so I can show you guys how fast these final corners are in these cars. The fact that the penultimate corner is actually blind when you go through turn 13, sorry. You get on board with camera for you can't see the apex. Nor can you see where the final corner is. Here we go though, tyres being changed on the on Piero's pink Super Formula. Fuel goes in, assuming to go to the end of the race. This could be fairly close between him and Cameron Kaboom. Cameron has got the momentum from turn 1, but Piero's got the gap coming out of the pit lane and maintains third place for now, and on fresher soft compound tyres to take him to the end of the race. And look at the gap that Body Evil has over the pair of them. Has set the fast lap of the race, 1 minute 29.9, absolutely demolished the previous fast lap set by myself. Currently leading this race, has led every single lap so far in the American Grand Prix here at Trial Mountain Reverse. Lap 22 of 31, about to start lap 23. There's the New Zealand themed Super Formula, the Flying Fern, flies down the start-finish straight to start lap 23 for number 32. Entering the final couple of laps in this race, 10 to go out of this 31 lap race, about 66% of the way through. And we've got Black Country Mesh running in 5th place as things stand in his red, white and black Super Formula. Might be running in 5th, might be running in last place, but is certainly scoring some really good points for himself in the Drivers' Championship. His first podium of the season from the back end of the sprint race in Austria. It rained at the start and then dried up towards the end. Caught a lot of drivers out, but Black Country Mush staying out on those intermediate tyres ensured he didn't make any mistakes and kept it clean where others could not. Even secured an outstanding 3rd place. Fortunately for him, I think the podium is just too far ahead of him at this stage of the race. A limited laps left to go. Cameron Kaboom running in 4th place and improving on his personal best through the middle sector, but a snap of oversteer and a little dip onto the grass on the outside of the circuit won't be doing his lap time any favours. Meanwhile, Pink Piero in P3, who didn't put it on pole position, is running in 3rd place. The Frenchman with a new fast personal best, 5/10 off the fastest lap of the race, but is pushing those down much gap to P2. Bonnie though, the championship leader in 2nd place, blitzing these lap times a lot quicker than the race leader, who is still staying up there on the medium compound side and is yet to use the hard tyre. The only driver along with Black Country Mesh who is yet to fulfill the mandatory tyre regulations, but there's still plenty of time to get the soft and hard tyres out the way for both drivers respectively. But whilst there aren't any on-track battles happening at the minute, so let's get some conversation going in the chat or in the comment section if you're watching this back on YouTube. So let's see. Those watching it live and not live, and you're watching this back on YouTube, let me know, guys, in the comments, what is your favourite / what is the best fictional circuit in GT7, taking into account both forward and backwards combinations. That's going to be the question of the stream. Favourite / best fictional circuit, taking into account both forward and reverse layouts. Tracks like Sardinia, separate Sardinia A from Sardinia B, for example, the same with Willow Springs, and other circuits that have multiple layouts. I'm thinking tracks can be done both forwards and backwards. My favourite is probably, you'll have to give me a couple of minutes to think about it. For a GT3 or GT4 race, not in Super Formula, so like GT3 or GT4, because I appreciate things like Willow Springs is a lot better. You can't do Willow Springs backwards because that's made up. Some tracks are better in like the road cars, but I'm thinking for GT3, GT4, car class / combination. I'm not saying it's a tough one. It is a tough one because you have some tracks that have a really good forward layout that aren't great backwards, and you have some tracks that are average. I think for a driving line, honestly, I think I'm going to have to go with one of the Dragon Trails, I think, for me. Seaside or Gardens, I think, is probably the best fictional circuit forwards and backwards. I'll probably go Dragon Trail Gardens, to be honest. I know some people don't like Dragon Trail Gardens, I know some people do like Dragon Trail Gardens, I know some people hate one layout but love the other, and vice versa. It's a very love-or-hate circuit. We've got tracks like Sardinia A that we've done both forwards and backwards in the past. We're doing Trial Mountain forwards and backwards now, and honestly, I think Trial Mountain could be my favourite. But I think backwards in Group 3 is not a nice combination. The final section very awkward and slow, where you think it should be fast. So yeah, I think it's car dependent. So overall, Dragon Trail Gardens, I think, wins my vote. But let me know guys what you think in the comments, and I'll read out some of your opinions throughout the stream. Make sure to have a look. What do you guys think on if you're watching this on YouTube? Back to the racing action though. Lap 26 of 31. Black Country misses into the pits to do the final 6 laps of this race on a fresh set of the soft compound of tyres. We've got Air Strategy, who's led every single lap of this race after starting in 4th place, but is being closed down by Bon Evil and has to make another pit stop in this race to fulfill the 3 mandatory tyre regulations. Piero's being caught by Cameron DeBoom, who's got more wear to his soft compound tyres, interestingly, despite... I know he did pit earlier, my apologies. Pitted a lap earlier, triggered the undercut. For those who are unfamiliar with the undercut, it's when the driver behind pits a lap earlier than the car in front to use the grip on the fresher tyres to close down the gap to the car in front, who's doing that extra lap on the slower tyre, try and jump that car when they make their pit stop. The only drawback with the undercut is that you have, or will have, in theory, more tyre wear towards the end of the race. And then vice versa, the overcut is where you stay out a couple of laps later than the drivers who pitted earlier to have the advantage towards the end of the race on the fresher compound of tyres. I think it's pit stop time for the race leader, who's low on fuel and low on tyre life left as he runs wide over the grass. I think just about kept it within track limits, so don't think would be penalised. Does pull into the pits to do the final 4 laps on hards. Maybe it's at the point in the race where I think Nat has kind of accepted that he's not going to win this race. Black Country Mesh in the chat with his view on the fictional track debate. His votes goes to one of the Dragon Trails. Yeah, like you said, there's some tracks that are good forwards. I think many people have done some backwards as well. The Dragon Trail, a favourable track forwards and backwards. However, the race leader no longer leading, and well, he should be leading this race now for his strategy to work, but it hasn't. and he's in 4th place behind Piero and behind Cameron Kaboom, and that's not what Natty would have been hoping for. I think it was the medium stint that let him down. He was being matched by Bon Evil, who had 10 laps older tyres than him at the time. Had Natty been able to find 5/10 a lap over the cars around him, he would have made this strategy possibly work. Now has to suffer for the final 4 laps of this race. The current championship leader leading this race, 1, 2, 3 in the race, 1, 2, 3 in the championship as it stands, going into the 4th round of the GT7 championship. Bon Evil leads this race now, but has got a massive tyre disadvantage compared to Piero, closing in behind. 1:30.5 for Piero on the last lap, 1:31.6 for the race leader. Like I was just saying, he was a bit surprised to come out in 4th place. Maybe he can get the fastest lap on fresh tyres. Certainly not the fastest lap on the hards, but there is the opportunity for Natty, myself, to pit for fresh to the softs. It all went wrong on the medium tyres. That's where the strategy failed. Got the gap on the softs, which worked very well, but then, like I said a couple of laps ago, I was matching the lap times of Bon Evil and Piero, who were on 10 lap older medium tyres. I should have been improving by at least 5, maybe 8/10 a lap for those guys behind, which would have put me. When did these guys pit? Lap 20, 10. Assuming I gained 7/10 a lap consistently. It's about 7 seconds, so I should have come out about level, I think, with the leaders, but then the tyre wear was greater than I expected, so that's why I pitted. The goal was to pit on the last lap basically, but couldn't manage the tyre wear. Meanwhile, and yeah, there we go, into the pits on lap 29 of 31 to abandon the hard compound tyres immediately and go onto a set of, I'm assuming, the red striped soft compound tyres to go for the fastest lap, currently being held by Cameron Kaboom, 1:29.972. Very close to Piero's, Bon Evil's efforts on lap 21 with a 29.992. Only 200ths quicker than the race leader, who's close to getting a puncture on the front left. Right on board with the race leader, makes his way through the middle sector. Look at the wear and graining on those front compound tyres, particularly the front left, which has punctured. Starting the final lap of this race, Piero and Cameron Kaboom in pursuit of the race leader. Bon Evil now just have to try and bring this home, secure maximum points in this race, minus the fastest lap. Started on pole position, can he round out 23 points at the end of this race, 3 for pole, 20 for the win. We'll have to wait and see. Starting the final lap of the race, Piero and Cameron Kaboom in close pursuit. Keeping on the next Natty G as well, going for the fastest lap. We'll get a hot lap on board once these guys have crossed the finish line. Actually, no, we'll do that. We'll do an on-board hot lap with myself in the final lap. I can't remember if the lap was any good or not. But seeing as I'd usually do my hot laps during qualifying, we don't have qualifying available for us for the stream, then we'd save it for the end. Piero's gaining so much time on Bon Evil, who's just trying to bring this car home with a puncture to the front left. An extra lap added onto this race, and I don't think He would have been able to hold on to victory, but we'll have to wait and see if there's still time for him to win it. Don't want to jinx it or anything. Don't to congratulate anyone too soon. But there's only a couple of corners left to go for the current championship leader. Hasn't led a lot of this race, only led the final 5. But it's not about how many you lead. It's about leading on the last lap when the checkered flag drops. And it's Mr. Bonnieval 99 who wins the American Grand Prix ahead of Piero in second and Cameron Gaboon in third, extending their championship lead. Meanwhile, let's get the onboard from X-Natty as we do this in qualifying, unable to do it we can do it in the race now. Through the first sector, using all the curves available on the inside of the S's, down the hill, looking for a braking point, purple by 2.5 tenths through the first sector, keep it nice and tight to the apex, and using the curve on the outside of the circuit, carrying a lot of speed, crucial for a good acceleration down the longest straight at this track, the straight between turn 7 and turn 8. There's a blind braking point for turn 8, a 90-degree right-hander gets ever so close to the inside wheel, nearly clips the inside barrier as Bonnieval just crosses the line to win the race. Still 4 tenths up through the middle sector, but it's hit the wall on the inside. Through turn 10, that's going to cost his lap time significantly. Can he bring it home though? Get an extra point for the fastest lap, and will Cameron Caboon see himself move up or claim that extra point? Over the blind crest in towards the final corner. It's X-Natty, Marcus Anderson up to the line. Hemo B does secure the fastest lap by 3 tenths. And that's an extra point awarded to him in the driver's standings. And last but not least, we've got Black Country Mush making his way through the middle sector now. Has run a pretty lonely race by himself, but nevertheless a strong showing for the Brits in the Drivers' Championship, picking up some handy points for those rivals around him. Comes across the line and finishes in 5th place. I need to stop it before it cuts. Look at that. Only a couple of seconds left in it, but there we go. That's the end of the American Grand Prix. I forgot where we were at for a second at Trial Mountain Reverse. To run through your grid from back to front, it's Black Country Mush in 5th place, Natty in 4th, Cameron Kaboom in 3rd, Piero in 2nd, your top 2 in the championship, the top 3 in the race. And it's Bonnieval who is victorious here tonight. This could be an awkward spot to get a picture, but we'll do it with his rivals behind him. No better way than that. And we'll do... I've got a little bit too close. Actually, we'll redo this. There we go. That should be perfect for the race leader. There you go. Bonnieval wins the American Grand Prix at Trial Mountain Reverse. Claims another victory this season. Can he go all the way and win it? Only time will tell. I'm X-Natty, your commentator, admin and driver for this evening. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream as much as I did. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow our Twitch. If you have Twitch, Amazon Prime, then you should be able to subscribe for free. Thank you, Black Country Mush, for the comments, and thank you for joining me in the chat. Everyone watching this, whether it's live or not, hope you guys are having a great day, had a great day, or are having a great day, and have a good rest of the week. Join us next time for the first race in Asia. South America, for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Forgot about Interlagos. For the second sprint of the season. Will Bonnieval extend his championship lead there? Or will Piero, Natty, Cameron, or someone else say otherwise? Goodbye. Yeah, that Black Country Mush blooper will be going into the bloopers section. I'm pretty sure of it. What was it I said? Oh, I'm getting a phone call. I should end the stream. Goodbye.